What up, everybody on YouTube? It's Rob Monty here, bringing you guys some more wrestling news. Alright, so today's episode, I'm outside today, watering some plants, getting ready, instead of being on my computer. Just give you guys some difference, giving you a different setting once in a while. First and foremost, for all of you guys out there, I want to apologize for yesterday's video to why it's late. I'm probably going to be posting it up today as well. That it has a lot of things going as far as ACH and all those other things that was mentioned yesterday. I'm going to have it loaded up today. To start off with today's episode, we're going to be talking about a lot of things such as Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan having original plans after WrestleMania 36. There's also going to be WWE2K looking to the fans, for suggestions and thoughts and opinions on the next game. There's also plenty Undertaker news, which I had read already. I'm not going to mention everything. I'm probably going to summarize what I said or what I think about it. What else? Kofi Kingston revealed ladder matches in his career, which were very influential on him. Then we also got Apollo Crews having an update on his heel run, or eventually a heel push. Alright, so let's just get into it. And I'm going to start off by talking about Roman Reigns, guys. For those of you guys who know of the current Roman Reigns situation, there's a lot of people out there claiming that Roman Reigns is being erased by WWE. And one of the first things that was brought up to mind was, I think I got mosquitoes out here, shit. Anyway, what you call? Well, the first update that came up as of yesterday was from the Wrestling Observer, from Dave Meltzer, who basically stated that Roman he's basically saying Vince McMahon's stance on Roman not being at the shows and taking his time off from COVID-19. He's saying it changes on a daily basis. There's days where Roman is liked by Vince, and then there's a lot of days where Vince is punishing Roman, kind of thing going on. That's basically what Dave Meltzer is saying. But he puts it as it's a winds of change on a daily basis. You want my honest opinion of that? That's a fucking cockamamie, malarkey, bullshit statement to make, So this is one of the reasons why I say you gotta take whatever anyone says who happens to be a third source out there. You should take their word with a grain of salt, because fucking that did not sound like Meltzer knew what the fuck he was talking about and basically pulled something out of his ass just to cover it, And to me, it's really stupid. It's really wrong, and it's like, hell, a lot of fans are going to be misguided and misjudging the whole situation. But after that was stated in the Wrestling Observer, Roman Reigns was actually interviewed by TMZ to see what is the true reason for why he's off TV. Turns out that he's off TV. He's not going to be on the road with WWE at the moment due to the COVID-19 virus, which has been stated time in and time out. But he made it clear that that it's not just for him and not his own health compromise, his own health situation, but it's more so the health situation of his family and his kids, most likely. As you guys know, I reported not too long ago that there was reports that Roman and his wife had actually brought in new twins in the world, about 8 weeks old apparently. In that sense, Roman has decided to stay off TV for a while, just so that he can be there for his family and making sure that they're protected from this pandemic and just being there. So for that, folks, there is not really anything bad going on with that. In fact, it's a respectful decision by Roman, and it's probably the most reasonable and more respected decision made by a lot of wrestling fans. I mean, not wrestling fans, but wrestling personalities these days. Because, there's a lot of us who are hating the idea of COVID-19 being the reason why we have empty arena shows and all that. But Roman has made it perfect sense to why he is not there. And it's very respectful, and I truly appreciate that. More so. As far as the Vince McMahon storyline, that everybody's pushing, that Vince is mad and punishing Roman at this time. I don't think he's punishing Roman. I think he's erased the idea of promoting him for the time being due to the COVID-19, and he's not going to be able to have Roman on TV. So he's trying to stay away from bringing up Roman as much as possible, because when he comes back, he'll probably be a bigger star than he ever was. And by his actions and explaining why he took time off to go be with his family in this time of the pandemic, he's going to be over with the fans. A lot of people are going to be happy to see Roman back. I think I read during that article, when I read that, there was people in AEW who are fans of AEW who were going like, "Come on, Joe, come to AEW," smiling and shit, knowing the consequences that everything's being said about Vince being down on Roman. Like I said, guys, I feel like that's a bunch of malarkey in general, because it is a bunch of malarkey with Vince trying not to promote Roman right now. Because in reality is, when you actually look outside the wrestling shows and wrestling bubble, Vince is promoting Roman Reigns outside of the current day show and the current day product. They're promoting and airing Roman's greatest matches, for one. Man. So, I think maybe one of these days, so I'll go over it on the full story of this once there's more information about it, and show you guys some clips. I'm saving up screenshots so people will know that's what's being promoted, you know. And there's a lot of promotion right now with Roman Reigns, especially coming this Sunday with The Undertaker's, which leads us to our next segment. See, The Undertaker, guys, is going to have his first episode of the Last Ride series, which Roman Reigns is featured. Roman is also featured on Fox Sports News' airing of Roman Reigns' greatest hits matches. So let me ask you guys this. Do you think WWE is erasing Roman with knowing the fact that they're promoting Roman outside of the current show? To me, it's stupid to think that. And I think that's just malarkey and bullshit that's just getting passed around the wrestling community right now. And it's bull. Now, going on to the Undertaker thing. As you guys know, Last Ride's series begins Sunday after Money in the Bank, where Undertaker is going to be going over a couple episodes, going over his journey to the Last Ride, to his final match. We don't know if it was the Boneyard match was his final match, but this is Undertaker documenting and having a series about his road to his final match, or his end of his career kind of deal. And it's going to start off with WrestleMania 33, which you guys know Roman was the guy who faced Taker at WrestleMania 33 and beat Taker at WrestleMania 33. So from that match, Taker's going to talk about all the stuff that happened around that match, what he did not like about it. He's also going to talk about why it's making him more conscious of what's going on around his career currently as we go into today's audience. And speaking of which, Taker went on record today. Undertaker went on record stating that he's always paying attention now when he goes out there and deciding on looking for that next great match. Is it working out for his situation, such as his age, such as his skill level? Can he keep up with the person that he's going up against? You know, he's being more conscious about what he's doing about his wrestling today than he ever was, and that's what he's trying to do to help the younger talent, because like he stated in the interview in that later on, that he felt that he let Roman down because he wanted to give Roman his best, especially since the match was supposed to put Roman over. He wanted to be there to do Roman justice because Roman deserves it in his perspective. And the fact that he couldn't perform on a high level, my neighbors, you guys, to a high level, he felt very disappointed with the match and all that. And when he's looking at matches, he's paying close attention to what he can and can't do. He was also afraid about doing the Boneyard match with AJ because he didn't know if he could keep up with AJ or give AJ that kind of a match himself. But they're glad and he feels happy and proud of that match with AJ, the Boneyard match, which I think everyone in that match should be proud. For one, JB should be proud, Triple H should be proud, fucking Gallows and Anderson should be proud. I mean, yeah, they got to be in that match, but they had a big part in that match. AJ should be proud. All those guys who played the Druids should be proud. I mean, everyone in that match pulled that match off in the best way you could possibly ask for. So, I say, if Undertaker feels glad he did it, I'm glad he did it, because that was the match stealer of the entire show. And I'll tell you this, that lasting image where you see Undertaker's symbol being in flashing lights on top of that barn, that was fucking awesome, just fucking awesome. Alright, and then Undertaker also went on to talk about a lot of other things in there. There's a huge long interview column. Hard for me to summarize it all right now, and I suggest you guys check them out. I mean, it's a lot of interviews. And then on top of that, there's also stuff that Undertaker talks about in this interview that's going to be in the documentaries that starts Sunday this week. So I decided not to go over it because he's going to be talking about it anyway come the WWE Network specials. All right, so what's next on our list? Okay, WWE2K. Well, speaking of which, before we go into 2K, Michelle McCool also went on record talking about Edge not wanting to win against The Undertaker. Basically, Edge was originally sketched in to break the streak back at WrestleMania 24. He was supposed to break Taker's streak, not Brock Lesnar. And that was talked about heavily before WrestleMania 24, or at least maybe a year or two before. And from that, Edge looked at it as Edge turned that opportunity down because he felt like, what is that really going to do for Edge? And they already love him the fans already love him. I mean, him ending the streak would only hurt Ed. It wouldn't do no good for Edge. And it wouldn't do good for Undertaker. The Undertaker streak is more important at that time. And which I definitely agree. And that shows how unselfish Edge is. And then on top of that, Edge, to me, I believe Edge should become part of the creative team or the production team of WWE, or any wrestling corporation, because it tells me that he's actually put a lot of thought into how does this work? Why does it work? Why it doesn't work? He puts in a lot of thought, so I think Edge would be great for to be in the creative team of WWE. All right, now moving on to WWE 2K. 2K going on. They're actually asking the fans. You guys are wanting a better 2K game for the WWE. As you guys know, WWE 2K20 had so much bad action that I think it's probably one of the worst wrestling games out there as of right now, due to a lot of the glitches, the bugs in this game, basically overall. My opinion is 2K, if you're watching, put more care into that game, and when you release it, let it be a completed game, and that we would be all up in joy for. As far as WWE 2K is doing right now, guys, is that they are asking the fans what is their opinion of what they should do for the next game so they can make the game better and satisfy you, the wrestling fans or the gaming fans out there for wrestling games, My honest opinion is they need to put more care about it. I know, like a lot of other people, I would wish they brought back the general manager mode. On top of that, make a lot of great stuff. Add new creative wrestler stuff, like create a wrestling finisher or create an entrance. I would love to see all that kind of stuff make a return. So, in fact, let's make that of another. Let's actually go on to make this question of the day a two-part question. What would be your guys' finish if you were a professional wrestler? And what would you call it? And then for the second question is, what do you think WWE should do, or WWE2K should do, to make WWE2K a better game? Alright, moving on now. Apollo Crews, guys. This was one of the big ones I wanted to talk about. Apollo Crews. As you guys know, he's in line for, as I reported before, he's in line for a heel turn come his return. Today they had released the original plans and an update on what they think they're going to have doing with Apollo Crews. One of the first things is that the update is a lot of talk going on right now about actually putting Apollo with Brendan Vink and Shane Thorne and MVP in MVP's stable. Now, in my honest opinion, I know we talked about this before. I hope they do it because when I look at it, MVP would be that face that everybody knows. Brendan Vink will be the future, and I believe Shane Thorne is going to be a great worker in the future of this industry. I mean, just look at the stuff he did in NXT with Nick Miller. I mean, it's just going to be great stuff. And with MVP being a mouthpiece for all those guys, you know for a fact MVP could cut a damn good promo. And he could actually help those guys get better and better as they go. Brendan Vink, as much as you guys know, he's got a huge push in line for him because everybody seems to be very, very high on him right now. My honest opinion, this should be great. I mean, if you put these three guys together, I mean, you got a new huge stable. Which, in my honest opinion, if you have MVP's stable and Zelina Vega's stable, and you build them in the process of a year or two, you can actually have a big faction war. Remove one of them from Raw to SmackDown, and then you got two major factions. But this is the plan for. This is what is being discussed as a plan for Apollo Crews when he returns from his storyline injury, which, by the way, it's a storyline injury that he suffered, and he will be returning soon. So the moment he returns, I think that would be great for him to turn a heel turn, because then he can air his grievances with the fans to why he is not over, and then just ends up, joining MVP and becoming that major heel. I think that would be a great way to get him over. And I think it would be helpful for those other guys, Brendan Vink and Shane Thorne, because then they won't be nobodies anymore, because everybody knows MVP already. But now you have Apollo Crews. I mean, and he's actually being taken serious for a major heel run. I think that would be freaking awesome for all four of those guys, So I'm looking forward to that. As it also was reported in an update, while that's being discussed about, they were talking about Apollo Crews being eliminated. Was it always the original plan for Apollo Crews to have an injury storyline? The original plans, they said, was that Apollo was always destined to be taken out of the Money in the Bank. I mean, he would qualify, but he would somehow end up not in the Money in the Bank ladder match. So the plan that they got right now with AJ being in the Money in the Bank is exactly what they were looking for, as far as taking Apollo off storylines right now and taking that storyline injury. So the main reason for that, I'm guessing too, guys, is just we take him off, he had his momentum going, we bring him back, people are going to take notice. That's what I'm guessing that's coming out of it. As far as AJ goes, I mean, AJ, maybe he might not have been the original choice, but man, he's made an impact coming into the Money in the Bank ladder match coming this Sunday. So, and he's actually my pick to win. That's my honest opinion there. I think he would be great with the Money in the Bank. what you guys think. All right. Let's see what else was on the news today. Okay. Oh yeah, CZW is postponing their Tournament of Death event. So for those of you guys who are, this is in June, by the way. If you guys have bought tickets to go to the Tournament of Death that's presented by Combat Zone Wrestling or CZW, they have postponed the event. They're going to be moving it to a later date. They haven't decided yet. So if you, and this is a fact, yes, it's due to COVID-19 again. Like I will say this for the whole pandemic if I have to. All wrestling companies are affected by this pandemic as much as everything else in the world. So all these guys are really every wrestling promotion, just like everything else in the world that's not essential, is taking a major hit. So, and it's not as big as a hit as the people who are actually sick with the virus, but with all the different wrestling promotions, just like any other business, they're taking a huge hit because of this pandemic. So CZW is now explaining that they are postponing some events. As like I told you guys yesterday, I believe it was MLW or was it? No, wait. There was another promotion this past week, I forget, that was also postponing events. So you guys are a fan of Combat Zone Wrestling, which is kind of like ECW in a way. They are postponing the Tournament of Death. If you bought tickets, it's time to go get your refund and get reimbursed, because they're not going to be doing the show. You might as well get your money back for now. Save it for later. You know, maybe you get to go to the next show when they come back on. Next on our channel's news today. I would talk. What was I going to talk about now? Shoot, what was it? Okay. No, I'm saving that one for last. Just one more. There's one more story I wanted to talk about today. Oh yeah, now I remember. Brody King. Brody King, guys. Had his car stolen apparently, and would like it back, please. He would like to have his car back and returned. If you guys, please, if you know where the whereabouts of Brody King's car, and or anyone who stole his car, if you know where the whereabouts of it is, report it. If you are the person who stole Brody King's car, I would tell you guys all the info of what the car is, like the license plate, what model of car it was. I don't necessarily know because Brody King has not announced what that car is and what it looks like, but he would like to have it returned to him because he's very, very, very pissed right now. In fact, on his Twitter and Instagram, he's gone off already about how pissed he is that his car was stolen. But now he's even more pissed off with the police department that he's working with. Apparently when he had his car stolen last night, right, he had actually filed a report about his car being stolen. Apparently the person didn't want to do shit for him and gave him trouble, and they didn't fill out the paperwork when they were at the office yesterday. So now today he's getting all pissed off. Brody King is pissed off because now he has to file again that his car was stolen. So if you are the person who stole his car, fucking return it. For crying out loud, the poor man needs that car, especially when he has to drive from town to town to make Ring of Honor dates. For those of you who don't know who Brody King is, he's a professional wrestler for Ring of Honor. If you're a fan of Ring of Honor, you should know who I'm talking about. Basically, if you guys know anything or anything of the sort, as the story is as ongoing as it is, please report report if you know of who would steal it, or 2, help the man out. Return his car. Fuck, or buy him a new car. That's what I'm saying. The poor man's freaking beyond pissed right now, and is being given grief for something that has already affected him in his own particular situation right now. All right, last but not least, because I'm going to end the episode real soon. Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan had original plans for after WrestleMania 26. As you guys know, Sami Zayn has basically asked to take time off and stayed home due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Apparently, there were plans for him and Daniel Bryan to be feuding after WrestleMania 26, even up to the point of Money in the Bank. However, there was no plans for those two to meet at Money in the Bank, and Daniel Bryan has been, in fact, always penned and scheduled to be part of Money in the Bank ladder match. And that's basically what's happening. And now, should we worry if Sami's going to get punished? I worry for the Intercontinental title, in my opinion. That's my honest opinion. As far as Sami does, I mean, Sami's been in the doghouse many times. He'll get out of it easily. But the Intercontinental title, that's something I'm worried about. Last but not least, I guess, talking about it, is... Frick, it just came to me. Also at Money in the Bank, they're possibly going to be doing a roof spot. Which, by the way,